today without his longtime partner, Emanuel Stewart.
When I first started boxing, people told me I was too skinny to be a boxer. I should not box because I was too small.
In 1970, this small, skinny 12-year-old met a Detroit trainer by the name of Emanuel Stewart.
In Detroit, we have a thing called our Parks and Recreation Club Tournament, which I am a product of myself. Then he went on to pass my record. That was an indication at that stage even of what type of a boxer he would become, and eventually what has led him to become one of the all-time greats.
Under Stewart's tutelage, Thomas Hearns did become one of the all-time greats. In his 16-year career, he won a record-tying 6 world titles in 5 different weight divisions, fighting the best in a generation of great fighters.
When I was coming along, it was like everybody was in one weight division. When it was like Marvin Hagler, Randy Thomas Hearns in the same division. Now that put excitement. That meant that when we were all together, we took over. We took over the heavyweight division, and that was like the first time heavyweight division became secondary.
But in 1991, after an acrimonious dispute, Tommy Hearns and Emanuel Stewart ended their relationship of over 20 years.
It's been like a father and son relationship. All of his life, it's been always Emanuel this, Emanuel told you what to do, Emanuel told you what not to do, Emanuel shows you how to open your checking account, Emanuel tells you where to put your money, Emanuel tells you what to buy. And every kid wants to, kind of grow up on his own.
We finally decided that we were going to go our own separate way because that was a learning experience for me. I needed to do that in order to learn what I know today.
Without Stewart, Hearns fought only twice in 2.5 years, winning, then losing the WBA light heavyweight title.
The main thing, I guess, being away and knowing that I have to go into the corner and not hearing his voice there. When I was used to hearing his voice telling me, well, see, like this fight is close, you gotta get in there and you gotta take control.
Since then, the two men have been able to put their differences behind them.
I just sit there, I sit down, I said to myself, I said, here's a man that I spent the majority of my life with, that I learned everything from. And it's sorry to say that we have to break up because of a dispute that we was having.
We're both more matured, we understand each other better, and we appreciate each other better, I think, now, because, we're through that stage where, we left, and I appreciate him a lot more, and he appreciates me a lot more because we had a chance to see what the other side was like.
Now, with Stewart back in his corner, Hearns is pursuing his 7th world title. Fighting at 190 pounds, he has won both his bouts in the first round.
Right hand by Tommy Hearns, and down goes Ward.
But despite their new relationship, the two still have their awkward moments.
I hate when we go out, like we go out to eat or something like that, and he eats with his hands, and he'll reach over in your hand, and he'll play there and start eating your food with his hand.
I'm a country boy. We go out sometimes, nice restaurants, and we order food. The other time I start eating with my hand, I said, there's certain things you have to eat with your hands, at least I'm comfortable.
I guess the relationship that we had, before we broke up, we was like a father and son type deal. And together it seemed like we made magical things happen. And we keep that up. I think that the relationship will be back like normal again.
And we have the same problem with the fight doctor, each with his hands, mashed potatoes. Tommy Hearns and Emanuel Stewart, a winning combination. Stewart credits the 1.5-year layoff following Hearns' punishing defeat at the hands of Iran Barkley in March of '92 to his rejuvenation. It was the first time in 15 or 20 years, according to Emanuel, that Tommy's body had a chance to heal and rest. And because of his aggressive nature in the ring, his fortitude, and his overall staying power, boxing fans have had a love affair with Tommy Hearns. An incredible 6 world titles, classic battles with Sugar Ray Leonard, marvelous Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran. The list goes on and on. Freddie, what do you see as Hearns' options after tonight?
Well, I think clearly that he's after the Cruiserweight title, and Bobby Ches, if he should win it, and I think he will, off of what I saw tonight, I think Bobby will win the title, are headed for a very big showdown. It would be a beautiful evening with two guys that are charismatic and can box as well as these two guys do. I think Tommy Hearns is one of the most exciting fighters I've seen in the history of my being around boxing, which is now getting to be around 40 years.
Well, I've asked Emanuel Stewart if this was a gamble. What do you expect here tonight against a puncher?
You know, that's the best thing of this whole thing. I really don't know what to expect. I expect Tommy to come out and take over aggressively and knock out Delgado, but Delgado punches, and he punches very hard. He's got a big knockout record, and he's looking to get started fast. He knows what he's got in front of him. He knows he can get him, like Terry Norris just got a surprise knockout at the hands of Simon the other night, because these guys can't take a punch anymore. Neither can Terry Norris, neither can Tommy Hearns. So it's going to be a very nervous time for Emanuel Stewart and Hearns. I look forward to an exciting first round.
All right, let's take our first look at the challenger. 30-year-old Freddie Delgado, born in Trujillo Alto, Puerto Rico, lives in Miami now. He's 19-2-1 with 18 KOs in tonight. His first fight since October 19th, 1991, when he lost a second-round TKO to Prince Charles Williams for the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship. Freddie Delgado, whose only other defeat, aside from Prince Charles Williams, back in April of '89, when Michael Moore stopped him in the first round of the WBO Light Heavyweight Championship. So Delgado, no stranger to championship atmosphere, but he's never been in there with a fighter as prominent as Tommy Hearns. And here is the NABF Cruiserweight champion, 35-year-old Tommy the Hitman Hearns, holder of 6 world titles in 5 different weight classes, looking to stay active and get closer to an eventual shot at an incredible 7th world title. Hearns comes off the first round KO of Dan Ward in Las Vegas less than 1 month ago to win the vacant NABF crown. for many of these fans to see this man for the first time in their lives. He comes in straight ahead, poker face. The Detroit ring legend, Tommy Hearns, 52-4-1 with 42 knockouts. The career-long romance between fans and the Hitman dates back to 1977. Hearns says he'll know when it's time to hang him up. Until then, the final chapter in his distinguished career has yet to be written. And let's check the numerical breakdown and look at the tail of the tape. Hearns at 35, 5 years older than Delgado. The 2-inch height advantage for the 6'1" Hearns. Hearns checked in at 184 3/4, Delgado 186 1/4, and a 4-inch reach advantage for Tommy Hearns. And to the rules for this NABF title fight, 10-point must system, 3 judges scoring the fight. No standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. So here at the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina, we are closing in on the NABF Cruiserweight Championship. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our featured bout at this time, we'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. My pleasure to hand over the microphone to gentlemen to lead us here tonight. Please welcome the fine vocalist, David Ball. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Charlotte Coliseum for the Charlotte Showdown, the main event brought to you by Don King Productions and Corona Beer. This bout is sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation. The president and supervisor at ringside is Dick Cole. Along with the Charlotte Boxing Commission, the chairman Al Mandel, commissioners Harold Hall and Ed Smith. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Jerome Howard. Timekeepers at the bell, we have Marge Hammond and Brenda Smith. Introducing to you the judges at ringside, Leo Johnson, Johnny Richardson, and Maria Rosen. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! The NABF Cruiserweight Championship scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you the referee in charge of this bout, Lawrence Cole. Introducing to you first, on my left, is the challenger fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with pink trim and hailing from Trujillo, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at 186 1/4 pounds, and his fine record includes 19 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. Welcome the hard-hitting challenger, Freddie Delgado. Across the ring is the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing gold trunks with red trim and fighting out of the Kronk Gym in Detroit, Michigan. His weight, 184 3/4 pounds. His record, 52 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, with 42 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the legendary 6-time world champion in 5 weight divisions and the current NABF Cruiserweight champion, introducing Thomas Hitman Hearns. Once again, here's your referee in charge, Lawrence Cole.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the North American Boxer Weight Cruiserweight title. I gave your instructions in the dressing room. I want you to protect yourselves and obey my commands at all times. Understood? Let's touch them up and good luck. Buena suerte.
All right, nice final touch by Lawrence Cole, the referee, offering buena suerte. Good luck to Delgado as he faces Hearns, and he'll probably need lots of buena suerte against the legendary Hearns. Well,
it's never a sure thing when you're at the end of the career like Hearns, because your chin is suspect. And so let's see what happens.
Just about to ask you, is Hearns taking a risk tonight, taking on a puncher? Delgado has 18 knockouts in 22 fights.
He certainly does. And if Delgado doesn't get mesmerized by that Cobra-like jab of Hearns, he's got some kick in his hands. And Hearns has shown over the last 4 or 5 years, he floats as soon as they hit him. He just waves in the wind. So he's got the hitman's got to take command and go right over this guy if he hopes to obviate that possibility.
Delgado told us today, when Emmanuel Stewart scouted me, I got knocked out in the first round by Michael Moore, which was followed by 2 years of inactivity due to managerial problems. But he says Emmanuel Stewart, who has, years of knowledge and experience in this game, cannot be easily duped. So we'll see what happens here. Delgado says to beat Tommy Hearns, you need 3 things. Number 1, heart. Number 2, guts. I clean that up because it is a family show. And number 3, you got to be able to punch.
Well, so far he's got the first 2, but he certainly hasn't done any punching. And that's exactly the opposite of what he told me in the dressing room. He says, I'm going to take that first round and get there before he gets anxious and starts on me. And so far he's thrown nothing. That's the first little punch he threw and he missed.
Hearns told us he's just looking to stay busy. There he goes, Delgado on the seat of his pants here in the first.
Delgado was waiting to get hit, and he got hit. I mean, that was the silliest opening for a fight. He had the right game plan before, come out here and wing it with this guy. Instead, he was trying to outbox a master boxer.
And now Hearns looking to end it in the first round.
You cannot outbox Tommy Hearns. He's a fantastically good boxer. And then when he gets you in his sights, boy, is he a bomber. This kid didn't even throw a good hard punch at Hearns.
Hearns looking to string together back-to-back first-round knockouts. Less than a minute remaining in the first round.
Break! No punching, no punching.
If you don't get Hearns,
let go.
He's more than likely going to come back and get you.
Well, that's been his history. He's a bomber. Ooh, he just missed a hook that would have put him on his pads. We put Delgado out. 3 hooks he missed in a row here.
Delgado told us he's gambling the future of his wife and kids on this fight.
Now he's starting to wing it. See, now he's starting to fight the fight he should have fought right at the beginning. Hearns is not fighting while the other guy is punching. While Delgado's punching, Hearns is just kind of taking those punches on the ropes. That's been his problem. He needs space to punch. He needs to box.
Final seconds, round 1. Delgado put on the canvas in this first round, but comes back.
Corner says, the guy said, was I down? And the corner just said, you got to play it out. You got to gamble. You got to go with that right hand.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
This is a perfect right hand.
Right here. Guard.
Now watch him measure. Right there. Now watch. Boom. That measuring is, by the way, illegal, but he measured him, and the other guy just stayed mesmerized, like if he was looking at a snake charmer. But you see, his whole thing is to really work hard. That right hand was perfect. It's a miracle he really got up, because it's cold, and he got cold and caught right when he wasn't looking. Right there.
And Freddie, what was strange about that is Delgado looked over to his corner almost inquisitively, and then we learned, you know, between rounds through your translation, he wasn't sure he got knocked out.
It was so fast.
All right, round number 2.
How he spent that first half of the first round just walking around without punching, I'll never know.
This is scheduled for 12. Most thought Hearns' career was finally over following the battering it took from Iran Barkley in '92, but here he is again, resurrected, fresh. Oh, Delgado landing, and that's got this crowd alive.
And that's what he said he wanted to do, just play it out.
And now he's swarming, smothering Hearns.
He's not a pretty puncher, Delgado, but he is a swarmer.
Awkward in his effectiveness, as Bobby Ches might say.
And Hearns continues to have the same defect he's had the last 2 or 3 years. He gets to the ropes and he quits punching. He did that with Barkley. Delgado just took a hammering shot from Hearns, but back he comes.
Well, he went into this fight saying it could be high risk for Tommy Hearns, and he had to eat some leather there in that sequence.
I mean, off of what I'm seeing, doesn't look like Delgado punches hard enough to hurt somebody. He's got a big record of knockouts, but I'm wondering about it.
19-2-1 with 18 knockouts, unrated, hasn't fought in over 2 years, had 2 shots at the light heavyweight titles, but lost both against Mike Lamora and Prince Charles Williams. Nearly half of his 19 wins by way of first-round knockout. Only 1 of his 22 fights has gone more than 6 rounds.
He's
down goes Tommy Hearns. Out of nowhere, it's a knockdown for Delgado.
That's what we said was the trouble. He does not have a chin. Tommy Hearns has no chin left.
Less than a minute to go in the second round. Hearns gets up disgusted.
Yeah, he's got to be more than disgusted. He better be off those ropes and fighting. There's no reason for Hearns to be on the ropes taking those punches.
Tommy Hearns, and perhaps...
Oh, that gave an unnecessary warning right there.
And perhaps send him into retirement. Less than 30 seconds to go in the second. And again, he's got Hearns in some difficulty. Flailing away is the challenger, Delgado, unheralded.
Again. Oh, what a shot.
Hearns with a solid right. But what a toe-to-toe furious exchange we've got on our hands here.
Now it's Hearns. That's what Hearns has got to do. Punch with this guy. He can't lay on the ropes and get hit. What a round.
What an explosion.
Saying tie him up. He's not saying punch and knock this guy out. He's saying tie him up. All right, let's take a look at how he got in trouble, because it seemed to come from nowhere, but it wasn't from nowhere. This guy was punching. There it is. There's a good one. There's another good one. You see, that's what started to get Hearns in trouble. Now comes the knockdown.
Let's go, Coach.
Well, it was, you know, it didn't look like that hard a punch to knock him down. It's just that Tommy can't take a punch. It wasn't that big or that perfect a punch.
Hearns visibly shaken, wobbled to his corner. We're set to begin round 3. Too much gunk Vaseline on the face of Freddie Delgado. His trainer, Braulio Rodriguez, who trained Jose Revolta, has to get it off.
too much time.
Really?
Too much time.
All right, finally we get this round underway. Each has been knocked down. Delgado went down in the first, Hearns in the second.
Delgado has nothing on his punches right now. Those are nothing punches. They're not hurting. They're just tapping. It's going to allow Hearns to step back and let fly, which he should do if he's got anything left. Tommy's too good a fighter to let himself get trapped like this by a swarming guy that's not half his talent. That's what happens when you've been a very famous fighter for a very long time. We saw it with Chavez. We saw it with everybody's career from Sugar Ray to Robinson down.
Well, Showtime is the network of upsets. How many upsets have we seen over the years? Many, many upsets. Hard right hand by a chopping right by Delgado. That staggered Hearns.
This is where Hearns has got. This is where Hearns has got to be right here.
Now he opens up. Now he pours it on.
See, that's Hearns from outside. Hearns from outside, punching and knowing how to box, not on the ropes. That's it. Here it is. This is where Hearns is at.
Got the wake-up call. Combination by Hearns. There's that left. Oh, what a jab by Tommy Hearns. Right down the middle. Whoa. Hearns goes down again. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that wasn't from a punch. That was from a missed punch. That wasn't from a punch. That was from a missed punch. But look how slowly he got up. Disgustedly.
So that does not count as a knockdown.
You know what that means? That means the legs aren't there.
Yep.
That's what that means. The legs of Tommy Hearns aren't holding him upright.
Let go, Tommy. Let go, baby. Let's go.
What a wild fight this has turned out to be.
Hey, this is a tough game to hang in there for a long time. Tommy Hearns is learning that lesson right now. It's not easy to come back when you've been off. It's not easy.
Tommy Hearns, 35 years old.
Now here's Hearns again on the rope, doing exactly what he should do. There he is
in
again.
trouble. He's in trouble again.
He is in trouble. He's in trouble.
Lowering the boom, looking to finish Hearns off. He's not stepping back to admire. He wants to go in for the finish.
He's not, and Hearns has nothing on his punches right now.
And his legs are wobbling.
His legs very unsteady. They're right above us. His legs were buckling. Oh, great shot.
Big left hook by Tommy Hearns. That caught Delgado flush.
You know what? A younger Tommy Hearns, that would have been the end of the fight.
But Delgado just keeps coming back.
Boy, Delgado's got nothing on his punches, but he's still standing there throwing them. He just hit him with the elbow. He just hit him with the shoulder.
And the warning from the referee, Lawrence Cole.
Miracle he didn't take a point away. Oh, look at those legs. Look at those legs on Hearns. He just can't hold himself up.
And Delgado continues to punch after the bell.
Boy, Delgado is tough. Let's listen to Hearns. What can they be telling him?
Take it deep. You gotta get big down inside, okay? This round can be the last round if you listen to me. Get on your toes, Tommy. Listen to me, okay? Get on your toes and don't lay in the rope so the man get a punch and just tie him up. This man is...
Now take a look at how his legs won't support him. That's the perfect example of an aging fighter whose legs aren't going to stand up. And he goes back to the rope. That's where he gets his problem. That's where he gets hit. He did the same thing with Alvin Barkley. That's how he got knocked out with Sugar Ray Leonard. Every time he goes against the ropes, it's all over for Hearns.
Let's go, coaches.
But of course, it's Tommy Hearns. And when he gets outside, he's a superior boxer, and he's got that savage, long punch. I'll tell you one thing, my hat's off to Delgado. He is taking some shots. We've been all calling Tommy Hearns' name because he's a charismatic fighter. But it's Delgado that's making this fight.
Tommy Hearns will have to summon up every ounce of energy and every ounce of experience here to win this fight.
Well, he's on his toes, trying to get his legs back to working again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see.
Round four.
Punching from out here. That's what he's going to do.
Delgado just comes right back.
But Delgado can't take too many of those long shots anymore. He is completely starting to wear out.
Let go, Tommy. Let go.
See, he shouldn't be here. He should let him go.
And Hearns the one doing the holding.
Yeah, but he was getting punched while he was doing the holding. It didn't make any sense.
Right.
You see, there's nothing in Delgado's punches, and yet any punch hurts Hearns. Any punch.
Hearns again in than 2 minutes left in the fourth. And just flailing away wildly is Tommy Hearns, hoping one of those punches lands. Overhand right landing by Delgado.
If Delgado had any strength, he could have knocked him out right then. He has nothing left also. These two guys have punched themselves out. One for age and the other one because he's punched all he can and he can't do any more.
Oh, the camera just got punched by an errant hook.
Look at the legs. Look at the legs. You see how he caved in? Hearns just can't keep his legs under him.
The bullying approach of Freddie Delgado all over Hearns. Hearns trying to get some leverage, stepping back, trying to open it up. But Delgado won't leave him. Look at the legs, almost went under from Tommy Hearns.
He's punching from odd angles and he can't keep his legs under him. It's almost, I hate to say it, pitiful to see a great fighter like this in an exhibition of such decrepitude. It just looks like he's grown old before your eyes.
Right into the stomach, yes, below the stomach of Freddie Delgado, and Tommy Hearns with the low blow.
Delgado is so finished right now.
Oh, what a right hand by Hearns. Less than 30 seconds in round 4.
Delgado is so tired right now. If he just had something left, he has nothing left.
But he's got a chin.
He does that. He's got a lot of guts, too. He said he did, and that's what he does.
Now Delgado missing. Final seconds of another wild round. Holding and hitting by Delgado.
He's trying to spin him, but he's so tired he couldn't just spin him and punch him. So it was holding and hitting.
He just punched out.
Wow, what a round. Who won that? What they went back and forth, back and forth. I tell you what. It's 38 to 37 on my card with Delgado ahead and not Hearns.
Well, we mentioned the camera got hit by a hook. This is how rough this round was. Check this out. Oh, brother. Our cameraman, I believe that's Bob Davis over there. He got nailed. There he is.
He takes a good shot.
Bob has the best chin in broadcasting.
He's got the best lance. He just said the fight is yours to take, but if you don't punch, you're going to stop the fight and give it to Hearns. Remember, he's famous, you're not. They said, remember to throw punches or they're going to stop this fight and you're ahead. And that's good advice. But poor guy has got very little left in his tank.
Well, it's round 5. It has been frenetic from the opening bell.
And we return to the same question. Why in the world did they pick Delgado for an opening fight for this guy? Why did they pick a guy that can punch against a guy who's got a suspect chin? Why? Again, it's never answered to my satisfaction.
Well, that's the question Delgado asked us, and that's the question I asked Emmanuel Stewart.
Yeah, Emmanuel said what we don't want is a puncher, and that's exactly what he settled for, a puncher. One wonders why.
Well, Delgado said it was an aberration when he got knocked out in the first round by Michael Moore, and that was the fight that Emmanuel Stewart happened to see.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago, and Stewart happened to be one of the finest evaluators of talent in boxing. He is great.
Well, that was Delgado's observation to us. Well, in any event, round 5 continues. Will these guys have anything left? Yes, they do, apparently.
And the guy with the punch, the guy that's got the punch is Hearns. The guy that's got the chin is Delgado.
Freddie, it's been non-stop.
It's the problem with Delgado is he's got nothing left in his arms. It's all in his arms and in his heart. He may get a gas tank going again after an easy round, but he hadn't had any easy rounds.
Delgado decked in the first round. Hearns decked in the second round.
Look at the way he throws punches. It's like a kitten just pawing. You see, there's nothing in him. That's nothing. Points, but nothing. He's not hurting Hearns, and Hearns is resting and getting his arms ready for a big assault here.
The fans chanting, Freddie, Freddie, the underdog. And the other fans chanting, Tommy, for the champion. combination to the head by Hearns. Less than a minute remaining in the 5th.
All Freddie Delgado wants to do is let this round go by peacefully. He would like to fight like brothers here for a round because he needs a round's rest. He needs it.
Now Hearns spins Delgado around. Let's fly with the uppercut, but not effective.
And in the meantime, pecking away, not hurting anything, but building up points is Freddie Delgado. If you're a judge, you got to look at this. He just keeps punching. They're not hurting anything, but he's gaining points.
Well, you heard the Delgado corner exhorting Delgado, saying Hearns is the famous one. You got to put this guy away. Hearns is going to win this on points. Oh, a big right hand. Uppercut combination. Hearns opening it up, and Delgado says, come on.
Delgado looks like he's cut in the eye. There seems to be some blood on his eye. It looks like he could be gone any moment, but this round is almost over. Tommy's going to have to do something spectacular.
Delgado taking it to the liver. And after the bell, they continue again. Evil intent.
No rapón. Vamos. Freddy. ¿Cómo? Dame agua. Dame agua. Dame esa botella,
Well, that was a strange round because Delgado's obviously resting, but he was doing all the punching until Hearns woke up with a couple of nice right hands. But was that enough to win the round? I don't know, because this guy, Delgado, did all the fighting. There was one good right hand. There's another good right hand. There's another good right hand, and an uppercut and a left. But Delgado still standing. And after the round, as if Delgado wasn't tired enough from the 3 minutes, they kept on fighting. See, they stopped, but a little something to take you back to the corner and remind you.
Let's go, Manny. Let's go. Let's go.
As we enter round number 6, Delgado before the fight said he believed he could turn the tables on Hearns, saying, I feel I have enough experience to beat him. I'm no longer worried about the experience of Tommy Hearns, and it's time somebody retired him. We shall see.
We shall see right now. I've got this even. And Tommy's coming out boxing nicely. If he could just bounce and box like this, he'd be all right. But here comes this tireless guy. He's back on him again.
Let go, Tommy, let go.
Risky business.
Tommy can't just push him off like he used to. He just can't get it together. He can't get his legs to function.
Well, he's been through so many wars at the age of 35. 55 fights.
He has been through big wars and devastating wars. The Leonard fights, the Hagler fight, Barkley fight, big devastation.
Delgado looking for a second win.
It's hard to picture the Tommy Hearns that thrilled us so much with that first Sugar Ray Leonard fight. An absolute classic is the same guy here that's letting a guy with immensely less talent than he is push him all over the place and pin him to the ropes. It's kind of sad.
That celebrated fight in 1981, the loss to Sugar Ray Leonard at Caesar's Palace for the WBA welterweight title.
Now he's getting his punch back. Delgado getting his punch back.
Delgado going to the head of Hearns.
Delgado getting his punch back now. That's what he was waiting for. He needed that little round to while it away. That's the first time he's punched hard. And Hearns stuck to the rope. Taking his shots right on the side of the ear.
Delgado beginning to get a little energized again, but just like that, Hearns comes back with a crisp right hand.
Hands up,
The Hearns corner imploring him to keep the hands up. And now going to the belly with the uppercuts is Hearns. Oh, that's got to take some steam out of you.
Yeah, that's good punching. That's old, and Delgado blew out his cheeks just then as if it really hurt him to the body.
Delgado might have problems now, but he stands right in there. Hearns opening up again, but Delgado just leans right in on him.
The old Hearns would have just pushed him aside and finished him because this guy is just asking to be finished. But this Hearns doesn't have it.
He cannot chop Delgado down, who seems ready for the taking.
I don't think this Hearns could stand a Bobby Chest.
Final seconds of round 6. The Tommy Hearns right hand, as you know, Freddie, once more one of the most feared in boxing history.
Time. No punching. No punching. Step back.
Get back here. Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad. Take it easy. Come on, Chad. Listen, the punch with this was the right hand. The right hand is a shot. You have to load up on the right hand, get a lot of stuff on it. You don't knock it down, at least try to tear that out back there, okay? This is the shot. Put everything on the shot. Okay? Load up on the right hand. The man running right into it. Swallow. Load up on the right hand, Tommy. Okay? Swallow. You can't do any work from me. Okay, lo coge. Venga para, vamos. Ponle ahí la bolsa. Vamos. Yo lo tengo. Okay, vamos.
Too many people talking. It's a babble, and nobody is giving him the right instructions. They're just talking about water. They're talking about air, and all three are talking at one time. Can't get through the fighter that way. Two people got to shut up and one talk.
That is chaos in that corner.
Yeah, and that's what causes fighters to lose fights.
Well, that's so detrimental. We enter round number 7. You heard. You can see the big difference between a championship corner and a journeyman's corner.
Emmanuel Stewart's one of the finest cornermen, like Angelo Dundee, Gil Clancy. Those guys take command of the corner.
Calm, composed. He said, load up on the right hand. I mentioned going out on the 6th, but it was the left hand, ironically. That Hearns historically has one of the great right hands in boxing. A hand he injured in 1985 against Marvin Hagler. Never gave himself time to heal. Couldn't punch with the same kind of authority. Let's see if he loads up with the right.
It's a very close fight. I mean, it will depend on what these judges. I mean, these judges are all from Charlotte, North Carolina. That means they haven't seen a whole lot of fighting, and you get very impressed by a guy by the name of Thomas Hearns.
And if they took that long to decipher the Ches fight, imagine this.
Well, I think here the distinct advantage of being the great Hearns is going to figure into a decision very big, very big.
That's why Delgado's got to knock him out.
Step back, Tommy.
And he's already knocked him down once.
Tommy doing much better this round. That's because of the exhaustion and fatigue of Delgado.
This is a very winnable fight for Freddie Delgado. Out of Trujillo Alto, Puerto Rico, the last 10 years in Miami, that's where he trains. He works at a junior high school in Miami-Dade County, works in construction, and then he lights it up again there, Delgado.
Yeah, good combination of punches. If he had steam, boy, that would have hurt Tommy, but he doesn't have the steam.
Got to get some credit here to Delgado, who has not fought it since October of 1991 against Tommy Hearns here 2 years later, putting on this kind of a performance. But against an aging Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, it's what I used to say when you watch Sugar Ray Robinson or Leonard or Muhammad Ali. It's the shadow of Tommy Hearns. It's not Tommy Hearns. It's not the guy we knew. It's not the guy we loved.
Hearns was obviously not tested against Dan Ward in the last fight about a month ago. Certainly getting it here tonight from Delgado.
You don't get tested with a one-round knockout. This is the kind of fight he needs if he's going to progress on. But boy, from what I see here, it sure is a gloomy prognosis for him. The Tommy Hearns that is a master boxer and a puncher that eliminates is not here tonight. So while he's fighting a sort of journeyman but guy that hangs in here, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look like Tommy Hearns. He doesn't look anything like the fighter he was. Look at this. It's incredible to lean all over the ropes and let the guy come on like that. Incredible.
Okay, dame hablarle, mira, estamos mejor, ok. Mira, trata de no estar tan parado frente a él. Mete la boca. Mira la boca.
They're now telling him that he's right for the uppercut, that you were working well, you won the round, but you need to get the uppercut going and you got to stay busy.
The right hand is the one to bring it on. gonna have to watch this on TV tomorrow. Everybody. You don't want to be one watching no nightmare, okay? Everybody wants to watch this.
Bring that body up here. Bring that body up here.
You gotta watch this show.
Let's go!
Well, Freddie, this is uncharted territory for the challenger, Freddie Delgado, his first trip into the 8th round. And what must be going through the mind of Bobby Ches right now as he watches this fight? He says, well, let me at Tommy Hearns.
Bobby must be praying for Hearns to knock out this tough nut Freddie Delgado. Just knock him out and hope that he looks better in the next fight and builds up some credibility, because he's lost a lot of credibility here. I mean, if he was in with a first-rate fighter that had the steam to continue to punch him, he would have been knocked out. Oh,
there's
good
a
shot.
Short, crisp left hand. Now a right by Delgado, opening up again. Delgado has Hearns in trouble. He's connecting to the head. Good flurry by Delgado. Now Hearns comes back with the right hand, but unfazed is Delgado.
I don't think that's hurting Hearns as much as it is just bothering him. And if the judges are any kind of judges, they got to be giving big points to Delgado here. He's the one that's doing the fighting.
Tommy Hearns continues to sit on the ropes and get punished.
That may be because he can't get off the ropes. I mean, you know, this guy is stuck to him like a postage stamp, and he is punching all during that time. I mean, it may not be effective punching, but it certainly is punching. He's landing.
Remember that last fight, he said he couldn't remember Dan Ward's name. I think he'll remember Freddie Delgado.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, low blow by Delgado.
He's punching off, but the referee is over in left field over there. He's so far away from the action, he doesn't see it.
Hearns finally gets off the ropes. That's an accomplishment in itself.
But what a dog.
Right hand by Hearns. But this guy's got a rock-solid head.
And Tommy fights about 10 seconds, and the other guy fights the rest of the round. I mean, how can you give the round to Tommy? Look at this. He fought a little bit, and here's the kid back again. Boppity-boppity-boppity.
They're on a different RPM right now.
Yeah. Look, Tommy's fighting as much as he can, and that's not much. Keeps getting hit.
Yeah, this is now it's getting to the sad state.
Look at this. If this kid had a punch.
Oh, and that was a good left hand by Hearns off the ropes.
Yeah, he straightened him up, but the kid doesn't go down, and he keeps coming back with more punches. I mean, you got to give Delgado credit.
Tremendous heart.
What I don't hear from Hearns' corner is telling him, get off the ropes. I hear Emmanuel saying, land a right hand, but on the ropes, he's losing this fight.
As we head for the bell, round 8.
If you can get him out to the center of the ring, if you can get him in the center of the ring, you're knocking him out. The problem is your legs are just landing on the ropes. He's out of the ring, but you fight them too damn close to the ropes. If you get him in the center of the ring, Tommy, you knock this man out. Get it and keep stepping off and keeping it on the steps. You understand?
The man legs is gone. Tommy, his legs is back to the corner.
Now let's show you a little brief history of this round. This is Delgado where he was at the whole round. Pinning Hearns against the rope, landing punches, not big and not hard, but a lot of them. And most of them close to or on the button. Now, the other side of it is every once in a while, Tommy wakes up and says, let me show you what it used to be like to be in here with Tommy Hearns. Then he turns around and lands 4 or 5 good shots. Now, that shot should have put him all the way across the ring, but it didn't. So, I mean, that was one little shot that he landed. There was a one little flurry that Tommy looked good. He had 5, 6, 7 punches together. Now, you heard the corner saying, get in the middle of the ring, get off the ropes. Finally, somebody, Emmanuel, is looking at this and saying, hey, this is getting bad.
As we enter round 9, the chase is on. Delgado stalking Hearns. Hearns, though, coming back with left hands, but again, Delgado unfazed. Now here we go again, Freddie, back to the ropes. And this is not what Emanuel Stewart wants.
And that's not a function of Delgado pressing as much as the inability of Hearns' legs to get him away from the ropes.
Look at him. He can hardly stand right now. He's actually being held up at times by Delgado. Can Hearns make it to a 12th round?
Can Delgado make it to a 12th round? They're both getting very tired.
We might have our first double knockout.
Wait a minute, what's happening? I have, while we have a little timeout, I have it unofficially Freddie Delgado ahead 76-75. This is very subjective fight, but if these guys aren't blinded by the luster of the great Tommy Hearns, you got to admit that this guy Delgado is doing one heck of a job of keeping him on the ropes and fighting his fight. He is the ring general. He's the one who's dictating the pace.
I agree with you, but in all likelihood, if this goes to a decision, it's going to be very tough on the challenger, Delgado.
I bet if both corners could meet and agree, they would agree to stop this fight at 10 rounds and forget the other two, because I don't know how they're going to go to 12, either one of them.
Will this go to the championship rounds? Will they both still be able to be standing at that
Well, this
point?
may not be as much of a boxing contest from here on out as an endurance contest, because whoever's got that gas tank is going to get to the 12th round. I'd be amazed if both of them are going to be there.
Delgado said he worked hard in preparation for this fight with James Waring, and it seems to be paying off. He has got a concrete chin and head, and he's been taking some punishment from Hearns, but refuses to cave in here. He did go down early in the first round, but that was it. Showing great resiliency. And now they are, at least, in the center of the ring, as Emanuel Stewart wanted, but Hearns not able to accomplish much.
But they're replaying what they did on the ropes, only without the ropes. I mean, it's Delgado stuck to his head. They look like Siamese twins there. They're stuck there, and it's Delgado punching, not Hearns. Hearns will get off one or two good punches, and the other guy comes back with 5 or 6. That's good punching by Hearns. That's good.
Hearns punching down, chopping punches. Less than 20.
And he stops. And he stops.
That's because I'm sure the reserve is so low right now. He just has no power, no energy, no strength. But he's trying. Final seconds. Round 9.
Time! No punching! No punching! No punching!
They do everything but send an ambulance for Delgado. His corner goes all the way over and carries him back.
The right hand is the key. The right hand, and turn it over hard. You turn over the right hand and then step off to the side. If you turn it over, you get him on the arm. But the right hand is what you got to do. You understand? The right hand. Don't worry so much about the left hand. And tighten up and turn it with some power on him. You punch him too weak and you have to let him go.
No, he gone. He gone. You don't follow up.
Es de nosotros, Freddy. Ya este es el 10º round. Este es el 10. Él se quiere quitar.
Dale agua, dale agua.
Ok, no te confíes. Avipa. Sí, yo lo tengo.
They feel they're winning the fight. This is the 10th round. He said, don't get overconfident. You gotta keep working. You gotta keep working. And he just asked, is it the 10th? And he said, yeah, 10. And here's where you say to him, it's 9 minutes and you upset this guy. Because he is so weary.
Now go to the neutral corners, says the referee. Because there's too much of a mess in Delgado's corner. They wanted to go at it, despite the instructions.
All right, 10-man box.
All right, here's a take charge guy, Lawrence Cole, the 3rd man of the ring. And I'll tell you, win, lose, or draw, the man in the trunks, the gold's got to do a lot of soul searching after this fight.
And the man that's with him, Emanuel Stewart, has got to be doing some heavy thinking himself. Because I don't think, off of what I'm seeing there, I would put this man in with Bobby Chess.
No,
Bobby's young, he's strong, and he punches, as we saw in the previous fight, in good combinations. Too fast, too strong for what we're looking at here.
We're seeing an aging warrior here, trying to pull one out against the journeyman fighter. Showing a lot of heart, though, is Tommy Hearns in the process.
I now have this fight dead even, 85-85.
No punching, no punching, no punching.
What? Delgado continues to punch after
the guy doesn't understand English.
Stay there.
It doesn't make any difference if you say no punching to a guy that doesn't speak English.
I think, yeah, the only Spanish the referee knows is Buena Suerte. We heard that.
And that didn't do it. That didn't stop you from punching.
Okay.
All right, come in. Box.
All right, they fixed the loose dangling tape on Delgado's glove, and here we go again.
And those weights like that give Tommy Hearns the advantage because he seems to get charged up when he gets, 10, 15, 20 seconds rest. He comes back with some good punches. I hear the same thing.
Now, should the commission take into account the fact that the guy does not speak English? You get a bilingual guy in there.
No, and the other thing is, why would he stop him from punching when he's punching with one hand free? You never stop a guy when he's punching with one hand free. Tommy's got him tied up with one hand, he's punching. Now see, he's got him back to the corner again, back to the ropes again.
Here we go again. Deja vu all over again, as Yogi said. Round 10. Tommy Hearns back on the ropes. Now he finally gets out of there.
Oh, this poor guy has nothing left in his body.
Delgado looks like almost like he was ready to go there. And the crowd sensing it. But Hearns has nothing left in those punches.
He doesn't even have power punches left anymore. That uppercut normally should have knocked him out. A fighter as tired as Delgado with an uppercut like that should have knocked him out.
Combination to Delgado's head. But it's like hitting Mount Rushmore.
It's one of the better rounds for Tommy Hearns. He's holding and hitting.
But wobbling back. Oh, loading up with the right just like Emmanuel Stewart wanted.
And though he's dog tired, he's still there. Oh, he can barely stand. I mean, his legs are caving in.
Freddie, I don't know what is holding Tommy Hearns up. He is showing the heart of a champion.
And Delgado is the guy that's got the heart here. In this ring, the biggest heart belongs to Delgado. His legs are dead. He doesn't even feel them.
Well,
and yet, Hearns can't put him up.
Final seconds of round 10. It's almost like slow motion at this point.
No, tranquilo. Dame la pierna, Freddy, dame la pierna. Dame la pierna. Freddy, no, estamos ahí ahora, ¿ok? Este es el 11. Este es el 11, nada más falta un round más, ¿ok?
Now he says to him, this is the 11th round. You only got one more round, but you got 2 rounds, the 11th and the 12th. That's a bad thing to tell a fighter. And here is, even though he's tripping over his own feet, here's Hearns on the attack. That was the best round for Hearns in a long time. Look at that. Look at that uppercut. If that shouldn't knock this weary warrior on, I don't know what would. But he still stood there, and he heard the bell. So now let's go. They've massaged his legs. They've given his arms massage and put ice down his trunks. They've got this guy ready for 2 more rounds. The only mistake they made was they told him there's only 1 more round.
Look how slow they are. They finally get Delgado out of there. Finally get the stool out as we enter round 11. The championship rounds. Hearns trying to end it once and for all, but Delgado able to squeeze out of that trouble. Again, the dangling tape.
The tape is now dangling from Delgado, and of course, that'll give a nice needed rest right here. But the rest this time is going to benefit Delgado, who is at the absolute end of the gas tank. And Hearns seems to be summoning up that last little bit of championship quality fiber that he's got to finish big and win this fight, and it's his to win. He can win it if he takes these 2 rounds.
Once again, like magnets, they come back together. Hearns being chased, but Hearns landing. Continues to land. Oh, tough shots to the head of Delgado, who's going to look like a mess in the morning.
That's all right. He's covered himself with glory. He came here to gamble. He said, oh, what a shot.
Again. Delgado rocked. And now Hearns very confident, dancing around a little bit. Summoning up that reserve.
That's what makes a champion. When you're out, when your legs won't carry you, when everything is failing, you sort of come up with a big round, and that's what you're seeing here. They're one of the most charismatic fighters in the last 2 decades.
But probably wondering to himself, what do I have to do to get this guy out of there?
Oh, that's what you got to do. A hook right to the head. Hard.
Delgado still standing. Minute 20 in the 11th.
His face all lumped up, now bleeding from both eyes, and looking like he just can't take much more.
Again, the crowd sensing it. Perhaps a matter of time. But Delgado has other ideas. Again, combination to the head. Delgado invites him in. Says, come on, do it again. Now he chases Hearns around the ring. Less than a minute to go in round 11. Hearns steps back. Both fighters drenched.
Hearns looks clear-eyed, where the other guy looks bleary. I mean, the other guy looks like if he sees him, he's doing good. Whereas Hearns looks like he's drawing a bead, but he just can't pull the trigger like he used to. It's not there.
Right hand by Delgado got in. Trying to chop down on the top of Hearns' head.
See, nothing in that punch. Even when he lands it flush, it does nothing. It's like a pat on the cheek. Hearns pulled another round out, and I think he's in front, and he just about pulled out this fight.
No punching, no punching.
The man is dead. You win this show, you win the fight. You lose this fight, okay? You got to win it, baby. Everybody's here. You got to win it.
The man go to the run. I want you 1-2. I want you 1-2. Don't even worry about the jab.
Let's do it. Let's round. Let's round.
On your toes. If you stay on your toes all around, you win the
Tommy,
fight.
you got to stay on your toes. Don't worry about nothing.
Push yourself.
Come on, Tommy. Come on.
Stay on your toes. Don't settle down.
Here's the kind of effectiveness that won the round for Thomas Hearns. He's clear-eyed now. He hasn't got much energy, but he's got some snap to the punch, and there's nothing left in Freddie Delgado. There's nothing but heart. There's nothing but heart and guts. A picture of a battered fighter.
There's the bell. It was hard to hear over the crowd, but Tommy Hearns continues to sit. The referee says, come on in. Finally, Delgado hears it as well. The instructions. He doesn't understand it, but he hears. Now we touch gloves, round 12. Two courageous guys, Tommy Hearns and Freddie Delgado, both showing outstanding.
Look at that punch. It looks like he's in molasses. I mean, he looks like he's got something holding him back. Poor Delgado has nothing left, and still there's snap to the Tommy Hearns. A great puncher that he's been, but he goes back to the ropes, and he knows he needs this round. I mean, there's no question about that. His corner knows it. I don't think he can lose this fight now, but you never know.
Delgado has to knock Hearns out.
Well, the good and the bad news is that he won the fight. Tommy Hearns. He's not over yet. It's not over yet, but it seems as if he's pulled it out.
The crowd getting behind Delgado once again. Of course, cheering for Hearns at the outset, but now supporting the underdog, who has put on quite a display.
It would be a shame, after such a gutty display, if this kid gets knocked out.
Left jab by Hearns got in.
Yeah. It's like the Jake LaMotta Sugar Ray Robinson fight. It would have been a shame if Jake got knocked out. Well, that's the way this is. This kid has been here. He's taken the best of a master puncher. He deserves to hear the decision.
What a tough kid, Freddie Delgado. Again, not letting up. Back comes Tommy Hearns.
No punching. Come on, Freddie. Don't lean on him.
Hard to believe that Delgado did get knocked down in this fight, but that was way back.
And that was such a flash, he didn't even know he was doing that.
That was in the first round. Hearns went down in the second round, but it wasn't really a tremendous punch. Now, he sends Delgado back. But Delgado stands right in. Less than a minute to go in the fight.
relatively unmarked, pretty clear-eyed, and now looking like he senses that he could put this away and not let it get to the decision.
Now he's got that left hand sway, as we've seen so many times.
He had it cocked and he was ready to go, but the kid moved away.
Left hook by Tommy Hearns, and that stung Delgado.
Well, he's got 20 seconds to go, and all this kid's got to do is hang on, and he's just about gone. Just about gone.
Final seconds of the fight, and you'll hear it from the crowd when this one ends. 5 seconds to go in the fight. Tommy Hearns at the bell.
Time, guys. Time. Great fight, guys.
And fittingly, it ends with both arm in arm.
And that was not what we expected, Mr. Albert. That was not what we expected.
Not what Tommy Hearns expected. The crowd applauding the efforts of Tommy Hearns and Freddie Delgado.
Let's take a look at how the brave Delgado weathers the storm, and the fight ends when he's just on the verge of unconsciousness. And you gotta say, that's a big, big display of heart.
Total exhaustion on the part of Tommy Hearns and Freddie Delgado. They take one last look at each other. That was a poignant moment.
Well, I've got Hearns ahead 115 to 112. Nothing would surprise me on hearing this decision, however. I think it might be bigger because of the reputation of Hearns, but we'll never know until we hear in the next few minutes.
Hearns' face looks all right. You saw the battered face of Freddie Delgado. Look at that face. The cuts under the right eye, over the left eye. Oh, did he take a beating? The right eye almost completely closed by Tommy Hearns. And Hearns, exhausted, was nearly down and out in this fight midway. He just could not put the rock-solid Freddie Delgado away. Delgado, who has not fought in 2 years, but against the aging 35-year-old Tommy Hearns. And as I said a few rounds ago, win, lose, or draw, he's got to do a lot of soul-searching after this one.
We got to get you a second's life.
He, based on this performance, would have all kinds of trouble with the much faster Bobby Ches. Hearns having trouble even just getting the energy to utter up a couple of words. Valiant effort by this young man. 30-year-old Freddie Delgado out of Puerto Rico, lives in Miami. Unrated, unheralded. As I mentioned, out of the ring for the last couple of years, managerial problems. And he hung tough, hung in there against the legend Tommy Hearns. So they are taking their time, just as they did in tabulating the Bobby Ches George O'Mara fight, which was a clear-cut decision for Bobby. I think we're just about ready right now for the decision. So let's go back up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. I will read the score totals. Judge at ringside, Johnny Richardson scores the bout 115-113. Leo Johnson scores the bout 117-104. Murray Rosen scores the bout 115-110. All three in favor of the winner, and still champion Thomas Hitman Hearns.
It wasn't easy. An exhausting victory for Tommy Hearns as the two principals hug. And a big sigh of relief behind Hearns from Emmanuel Stewart. This was risky business, getting in there tonight with a heavy puncher such as Freddie Delgado. So here at the Charlotte Coliseum, Tommy Hearns retains his NABF Cruiserweight Championship and lifts his record to 53-4-1. Still has the 42 knockouts. But a tough night, a long night for Tommy Hearns. And look at that as he prays. Thanking the man upstairs for the victory tonight. Crowd gives him a nice round of applause. Long night of fights coming to an end here at the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. Big cluster in the center of the ring. In briefly recapping, in round number 1, the first knockdown, Freddie Delgado, look how clean-faced he is there. What a contrast. We just saw at the end of the fight. There it is, the short, crisp right hand, the legendary right hand of Tommy Hearns, sending Freddie Delgado to the seat of his pants. It happened so fast, he looked at his corner and was inquisitive. He wasn't even sure he got knocked down. Then in round 2, here it is, this the stunner. Wasn't a great punch. It was kind of a grazing punch, but almost in the replay as if Tommy Hearns lost his balance, but he did get punched, and it was ruled an official knockdown. Tommy Hearns shocked as he is put to the canvas in the second. But from the 10th round on into the championship rounds, Tommy Hearns reached down for that reserve of energy, that championship energy that he knows so well, came back despite being wobbly, de-energized, exhausted. Look at this barrage by Tommy Hearns, sending Freddie Delgado every which way, his head bobbing around, but showing the great guts and character throughout the entire fight and hanging in there. The fight doctor is ready with both fighters in the ring, so let's send it up to Freddie Pacheco.
Freddie,
Yeah.
tú supiste que te tumbaron en el primer round. Did you know that you were knocked down in the first round?
No, fíjate, él me sorprendió. Él me sorprendió cuando llegué a la esquina y dije, adiós, me tumbó, ni cuenta me di.
He said he didn't really know he was down in the first round. He got such a surprising shot that he had to ask the corner if he had been down. Tommy, when you went down, you knew you were down.
No question. I knew I was down, but I knew I had to get up and fight because Freddie brought the fight to me. He made me fight, so I had to get out and basically just use my head and try to outbox him.
En algún momento tú creías que the opponent's helping each other, a little water here. Whoa! I got to wear a raincoat for these things. Oye, ¿tú creías que tenías oportunidad de ganarle?
Sí, yo, aunque te llevo 4 años de inactividad, yo sabía que si yo lo sorprendía, yo podía ganar.
I asked him, did he think at any time that he could beat the great Tommy Hearns? He said, yeah, I trained hard and I thought I could beat him and I thought I was there.
Por eso yo cogí la pelea.
That's why he took the fight. Tommy, in the middle of in this fight, as hard as it was, you look so tired, you look like your legs were going. You think you had enough gas to go 12 rounds?
I was sure I had enough gas. I had to just pace myself because it's been a while since I went 12 rounds, so basically it was all about pacing myself and trying to get the shots out easy. And,
Were you amazed that this guy could take those Tommy Hearns shots? You hit him with some Tommy Hearns right hands and turn people over.
Yeah, he fooled me. He stuck in there and he accepted punches very well.
All right, the story of the night was to ask Emmanuel Stewart, as we had talked yesterday and today, why did you ever put this man in where the guy can punch this hard? Now I ask you again, why did you ever do that?
Well, you know, we're on Showtime, and Don King only makes tough fights. In fact, he's got his 2 main fighters knocked off recently, Terry Norris and Chavez. But
hey, they can say a lot of things about Don King, but he ain't got anything to do with what happens in the ring when it's this tough a fight. Now, did it surprise you? Don King is here. He made this tough fight. Did it surprise you the way it turned out?
Well, no, Freddie is the spoiler, and I knew that Freddie would put up a good fight, and I know Tommy would put up a good fight, and he did what he had to do to pull it out, but it was a terrific fight. No one can deny. They seen a barn burner this night.
All right, now you have been fearless this year about putting the best with the best. Would you put Bobby Chez off his performance, which was good today, against our Hearns, Tommy Hearns, who looked tired and looked weary? So would you put them together?
Absolutely, because Tommy Hearns won't be tired next time. He'd be prepared, you know. So when he get time for Chez, it'll be Chez time with Tommy Hearns, and that'll be a great fight. So we're looking forward to taking Tommy to Paris in April, and he's going to do a good job there. We're going for a world title with Tommy. Then we come in for Bobby Chez. Bobby Chez will be working the same way, going for a world title, and the 2 guys will meet, and it's going to be a sensational fight for Showtime.
And that will be, but you can't forget this kid. He had some kind of guts, and he should be back on Showtime. Absolutely. Now, we'd like to talk to you all night, but we got to get back to Steve at ringside. It's been another exciting night at Showtime.
Certainly has.
All right, thanks very much, Freddie. Well, we just witnessed our first ever water fight on Showtime Championship Boxing as well. Great respect exhibited between Tommy Hearns and Freddie Delgado. We thank you, Freddie, as we head for the bell here at the Charlotte Coliseum. Let's take one more look at tonight's results as we recap our boxing doubleheader. In the first fight on the card tonight, Bobby Ches making his comeback, his first fight in 22 months, coming off the injury suffered in a car accident, and he defeated George O'Mara, tough guy from Camden, New Jersey and Los Angeles, via unanimous decision. Ches goes up to 41-5 with 26 KOs. And of the fight you just saw, in a valiant effort by Freddie Delgado, the challenger, wasn't enough though. Tommy Hearns with a unanimous decision over Delgado, and he sends his record to 53-4 and won with 42 KOs.